the headlines of this hour on VTV News. HSBC maintains Vietnam's economic growth forecast for 2024. And trade at Vietnam-China border gates to be enhanced. In our world news, world food prices rebound from three-year low, according to UN agency.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyen Tan with the top stories. At the Thừa Thiên Huế Province Conference on Planning and Investment Promotion, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized the need for effective provincial planning. He encouraged the province to utilize all resources to foster both traditional and new growth drivers. He also urged investment in high-quality human resources training to ensure social justice and security, and to strengthen local, regional, and international connections. The Prime Minister further called for the development of strategic infrastructure systems and the growth of cultural and entertainment industries. He highlighted the importance of sectors that support production and supply chains, as well as the application of science, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. During this occasion, he attended the groundbreaking ceremony of the International Hospital Phase 2 of Huế Central Hospital, which will provide about 300 beds that meet international standards. Investors and contractors are mobilizing human resources and equipment to speed up construction work of the Longang International Airport and Tân Sơn Nhất Airport's Terminal 3. The goal is to complete both projects on April 30th next year, 3 months earlier than original estimates.
The Lotus-inspired design of Longang Airport is gradually taking shape with 3,000 engineers and workers working around the clock. The passenger terminal now reaches the second floor. This is the largest and key construction phase involving the longest construction time.
With good preparation, the contractor has the materials and gathered them at the construction site. As for imported materials, we have submitted a plan for approval to the involved parties.
Contractors are also accelerating the 4,000-meter runway, taking advantage of the dry season to speed up construction.
We expect that within the next 2 months, we will complete the 150th layer of concrete foundation and, at the end of this year, will complete the surface work and install the signal system and equipment for flight calibration.
However, access to route number 2 is still waiting for the locality to hand over around 14% of its land area.
We really hope that the provincial authorities will be more timely in handing over the land as soon as possible, because then the contractors can organize construction simultaneously.
Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport's new T3 passenger terminal also has many construction items ahead of schedule.
We have begun to install the electrical systems for the B2 and B1 floors to ensure all items are built simultaneously.
Longang International Airport and Tân Sơn Nhất Airport's Terminal 3 are two important national projects crucial for developing the aviation industry and the socio-economic development of the key southern economic region. Therefore, the Airports Corporation of Vietnam said it would put all effort into completing the project sooner than target.
HSBC continues to forecast Vietnam's economic growth for this year at approximately 6%, anticipating a stronger growth in the second half. According to an update report from their Global Research Department, Vietnam's economy is on a path of recovery and growth, with exports and imports as the main driving forces. The country is benefiting from the global electronic sector's momentum, significant attraction of foreign direct investment, and a revival in the textile, garment, leather, and footwear industries. Growth trends in tourism and services are also positive. However, HSBC has warned of inflation risk in the food and energy sectors, predicting an average inflation rate of around 3.9%. The bank advises Vietnam to be conscious about loosening monetary policies. As of the end of March, the total outstanding credit in the economy surpassed $544 billion, marking an increase of over 0.6% compared to the end of the previous year, as stated by the State Bank of Vietnam. The credit primarily supports priority sectors like agriculture, rural areas, small and medium-sized enterprises, and exports. Representatives from the State Bank of Vietnam confirmed that the economy does not lack capital. Since the beginning of the year, credit limits have been set for commercial banks by the State Bank of Vietnam at a rate of 15%. Commercial banks have initiated priority programs and interest rate incentives to stimulate credit demand. The State Bank of Vietnam has also introduced preferential credit packages, including a 120 trillion Vietnam dong or $4.8 billion package for social housing loans, and a 30 trillion Vietnam dong or $1.2 billion package for aquaculture and forestry. In the first quarter of this year, the value of goods traded through the Lai Border Gates exceeded $532 million, a 28% increase compared to the same period last year. In March alone, import-export turnover through these border gates rose by nearly 50% compared to February and by over 40% compared to the same period last year. The primary exports continue to be wood, dragon fruit, watermelon, durian, jackfruit, and bananas, while major imports include flowers, ornamental plants, fresh fruits and vegetables, coal, and fertilizers. This year, Lao Cai province aims to reach a total import-export turnover of $4.5 billion through its border gates. The northern border gate regions have received much positive news. Since the start of the year, international border gates between Vietnam and China have seen a significant upturn in trade and tourism. This is part of a strategy to boost trade between the world's second-largest economy and its largest trading partner, ASEAN. According to Guangxi Customs of China, the Friendship Pass International Border Gate alone welcomed 520,000 travelers from both countries in the first quarter, marking an increase of 189% compared to the same period last year. The same gate also cleared over 100,000 vehicles, a 22.75% increase from last year. Vietnam exports fruit, agricultural and aquatic goods, and processed industrial products to China. Conversely, China exports machinery, equipment, and raw materials to support Vietnam's industrial sectors. To meet the growing demand for trade, both sides have extended clearance times at border gates and opened additional channels since mid-March. Previously, many people bought Vietnamese products mainly to support local businesses. However, many consumers now prefer these products due to their affordable prices and high quality. Despite intense competition in the retail market, high-quality Vietnamese goods continue to attract consumers. Nevertheless, establishing a transparent and a responsible supply chain is crucial for Vietnamese goods to fully realize their potential.
This business, which produces tens of thousands of tons of food for the market every month, continually strives to optimize its supply chain that brings products closer to consumers.
We have increased the product supply to the market by nearly 20% compared to the same period last year. Regarding the supply chain, the company is expanding more pork stores to provide additional products. In addition, we have also increased the output of products that meet international standards for distribution in the domestic market.
For successful expansion, the supply chain, which involves numerous businesses, must ensure transparency and responsibility for their products.
From the stage of receiving goods to distribution to the market, we ensure that quality control processes are extremely strict. Additionally, we have warehouses and transport vehicles to maintain product quality before it reaches customers.
In the supermarket systems of certain domestic enterprises, locally produced goods make up a significant proportion of 80 to 90%, while 72.66% of consumers choose domestic goods in 2018. By 2022, this rate had risen to 85.06%. Distribution systems also strive to contribute to the community by maintaining a high proportion of Vietnamese products in their distribution channels.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade consistently promotes the implementation of Vietnamese goods in the domestic market. Vietnamese businesses need to collaborate with state management agencies to boost the consumption of Vietnamese goods.
The scale of Vietnam's retail market exceeded $180 billion in 2023. This growth provides a foundation for Vietnamese businesses to increase production and broaden their distribution, dominating this promising market.
Coming up next on VTV News. Businesses leverage retirement insurance as employee retention strategy. An enhancement in supply chain boosts quality of Vietnamese products. You're watching VTV News Live. Vietnam experienced over 2,000 attacks on information systems in the first quarter of this year. In recent incidents, data from a securities brokerage, VN Direct, and a Petro Vietnam Oil Corporation was encrypted following attacks. The Vietnam National Cybersecurity Association will host a discussion on effective prevention of cyber attacks this Friday in Hanoi.
Enterprises typically allocate up to 80% of their budget to technology design to prevent cyber attacks, 15% to monitoring systems, and just 5% to incident response. As a result, attacks are often not effectively resolved. Experts suggest that modern prevention measures should be implemented, and investment should be distributed equally among prevention, monitoring, and response.
When too many agencies and units are tasked with resolving the same incidents, overlaps may occur. For example, evidence may be in the computer's memory, but not on the hard drive. If a unit restarts that computer, all the evidence will be lost.
Experts recommend conducting data scannings and backups 2 to 3 times per year. This ensures that important data can be promptly restored in the event of data encryption attacks.
The data should be stored in at least 3 backup versions, using 2 formats, along with 1 hard copy.
Experts advise that when under attack, units should promptly notify the authorities rather than attempt to address the issue on their own.
Firewalls are crucial because they are like the locked door of a house. However, there should also be a monitoring system.
The International Counter-Ransomware Initiative advises victims not to comply with ransomware extortion demands to avoid setting a dangerous precedent.
Social welfare is a fundamental aspect of the relationship between employees and employers. It includes elements such as social and health insurance, which are the obligations and responsibilities of businesses. This is also a key factor in attracting and retaining employees in today's fluctuating labor market.
Besides salary, Ngọc considers welfare conditions when choosing a workplace. Her company supports her by contributing to voluntary retirement insurance for employees, covering half of the insurance cost.
My income is lower because I pay some of it towards insurance. However, this will become my income when I retire in the future.
Not only employees, but businesses also seek to have retirement insurance purchases deducted from taxable income and accounted for as business expenses. As a result, they encourage their employees to participate in voluntary retirement and pension schemes to enhance their income upon retirement.
When our company's business performance improves, we'll increase our insurance payments and vice versa.
This is a good strategy for enterprises. However, transparency must be ensured, as it's the employees' money. It will also raise employees' awareness and help them find a reliable place for insurance.
In Vietnam, 6 out of 18 life insurance companies are licensed to offer voluntary pension insurance. Companies purchase this retirement insurance for their employees as part of their long-term benefit programs, aiming to enhance employee commitment to their organizations.
In recent times, numerous policies and solutions have been implemented to improve education quality for students in mountainous provinces, particularly for ethnic students. One important task is enhancing the quality of life for boarding students, which contributes to improve comprehensive education in these areas. Ximen District in Hà Giang Province is a pioneer in this initiative.
Washing hands and lining up neatly are the daily routines of more than 300 students at Tà Nhu Community Primary and Secondary Ethnic Boarding School before each meal.
In addition to teaching us during lessons, the teachers here also take care of our meals and sleep. They cook for us. Thus, I love going to school.
In the 2023 to 2024 school year, the district hosts 23 ethnic day boarding schools, accommodating over 5,600 day boarding students. The schools have mobilized all resources to upgrade and provide facilities for meals and accommodation, ensuring an optimal studying and living environment for boarding students.
The district directs communes, education agencies, and schools at the district level to improve the quality of life for boarding students. Secondly, we also focus on enhancing facilities to create favorable conditions for students to learn.
As one of the most remote districts in Hà Giang Province, the student population mainly consists of children from ethnic groups in poor households. Therefore, maintaining and improving the quality of care for boarding students will contribute to retaining student numbers and creating favorable conditions for comprehensive learning and development.
Textbook publishers have set their pricing policy for the 2024 to 2025 academic year. The Vietnam Education Publishing House, which provides 2 sets of textbooks, has decided to lower its prices. The cost of the Connecting Knowledge to Life textbook set has been reduced by 9.6%, and the Creative Horizons set has decreased by 11.2%. In contrast, the price of the Kite book set from the Vietnam Educational Equipment Publication Investment remains the same. However, they will offer a 20% discount to departments of education and training when purchasing books for school libraries or for organizations and individuals buying books to donate to communal libraries. The managing units of all 3 textbook sets have free giveaway policies for disadvantaged schools. The Department of Logistics of Military Region 9 held a launching ceremony on Saturday to provide fresh water to residents of Cà Mau Province, who have been greatly impacted by saltwater intrusion and drought. They mobilized 3 vessels, including 1 200-ton vessel and 2 60-ton vessels, to deliver the water. The leaders of the Logistics Department and Brigade 659 instructed all soldiers to promptly deliver water to the 3 districts of Trần Văn Thời, Thới Bình, and U Minh. The water will be collected from a clean water plant to ensure its safety and quality. The 2 smaller vessels are designated to supply water to the most remote areas. This initiative will continue until April 12th. Illiteracy eradication is among the party and state's major policies that seek to develop a robust intellectual foundation for fostering human resources. In An Giang Province, a large number of literacy classes have been in session with funding from the National Target Program on Socio-Economic Development in Ethnic Groups and Mountainous Areas. For many ethnic individuals, achieving proficiency in Vietnamese has unlocked new potential for better livelihoods.
This class is unique not only because of its location, but also because of its members. It was attended by local mothers and grandmothers aged 60 and above. Although they are from different backgrounds, they all share the desire for learning. Mighty Song works as a garbage collector and is motivated to take her first ever reading and writing lessons.
People often question what good it will do for me to start learning so late in life. I don't mind at all because I want to be able to read like everyone else.
While the 15 students in this class are all diligent, their path to knowledge is far from easy. They have their children and grandchildren to worry about, and some are the family's breadwinners.
I'm sure I'll forget all this when I get home and do chores, but I can always pick it up quickly in class.
We teach things slowly here. Cramming is not encouraged either. This method will help the students remember better.
To encourage people to attend class, the local education sector and authorities have surveyed the community's learning needs and devised a suitable schedule and venue.
We ask respectable figures in the community to do the persuasion work. Sometimes, they even join the people in the lessons.
In 12 months, Ansang Province has organized 32 classes for ethnic people, successfully enrolling 724 students. Everyone is happy because they now know how to read and write, but the effectiveness doesn't stop there.
Since joining this, I've been able to write and sign my name. I'm proud of myself.
The Sapa Culture and Tourism Festival in Hanoi is currently underway. Main activities are being held at the Lý Thái Tổ Flower Garden and the pedestrian streets around Hoàn Kiếm Lake. The event will run until Sunday, April 7th. The festival features a variety of activities, including the Moonlight Dance Art Program, which recreates the atmosphere of Sapa's fairs and love markets. A seminar titled Distinctive Friendly Professional Development Solutions for the National Tourist Area of Sapa, aiming towards a clean ASEAN tourist city, was also organized. In 2023, Sapa welcomed over 3.5 million tourists, marking a 145% increase from the previous year. The town aims to welcome 6 million tourists in 2024. Coming up next in our world news. World food prices rebound from three-year low, according to a UN agency. And wire-up coffee plants could help farmers counter climate change. Now moving on to our world news. In March, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization's, or FAO, World Price Index rebounded from a three-year low. This increase was due to rising prices for vegetable oils, meat, and dairy products. The FAO Price Index, which tracks globally traded food commodities, averaged 118.3 points in March, up from a revised 117.0 points in February. The vegetable oil price index jumped 8% month-on-month. The dairy index rose nearly 2.9%, marking a sixth consecutive monthly increase, and the meat index added 1.7%. In separate data, the FAO slightly increased its forecast for world cereal production in 2023 to 2024 to 2,841 billion metric tons from 2,840 million projected last month, a 1.1% increase from the previous season. Russia is concentrating its efforts and resources on the development of its defense industry, according to a statement made by President Putin at the recent Congress of the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Russia. He also noted that these resources are intertwined with other sectors of the economy. Putin stressed the importance of increasing labor productivity, modernizing industry, and the agricultural industrial complex under Russia's current conditions. He emphasized that the next 6 years will be a period of accelerated industrial growth in Russia, leading to a larger proportion of domestic goods in the market. Russia plans to manufacture more of its own equipment, machine tools, vehicles, medicines, and consumer goods. Despite the focus on the defense industry, Putin assured that no social security guarantees would be cancelled. How can you tell when a coffee plant is suffering from the effects of climate change? Just listen to it. That's the hope of researchers who are wiring up coffee plants with solar power sensors in Tanzania in a bid to understand how climate change is affecting the health of Arabica coffee plants in the region. More in the following.
At Utengule Coffee Farm, in Tanzania's southwestern Beira region, researchers are monitoring 20 plants across the farm, with each plant attached to electrodes to record and decode plants' electrical activities to understand whether people can help with management of water or other agricultural practices.
This technology aims to record and decode plants' electrical activities to understand whether we can help with the management of water or other agricultural practices. At the moment, we are training our machine learning algorithms, and then we will set in place an AI that will automatically train and tell us when we need to intervene on the plantation.
Using Internet of Things technology developed by Cisco, these plants will provide researchers with continuous updates on their health and hydration. In addition, environmental probes will monitor factors like moisture and the presence of pathogens on the farm. The team aims to devise strategies that can boost the farm's yield, enhance its sustainability, and optimize its irrigation water usage. Ultimately, they want to develop an AI-powered smart system that will send alerts to farmers to take action.
I see a particular acceleration in the last few years. I would say the last 5 to 10 years, I would say. I saw suddenly an acceleration of competition for the water. On one hand, competition for the water, but also less water flow in the river, the double effect.
Tanzania, a major coffee producer, is already feeling the effects of climate change, with unpredictable rainfall and extended droughts. Information gleaned from the wired-up coffee plants and their surroundings could potentially benefit not only coffee growers around the world, but farmers of other crops who are trying to counter the effects of climate change.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app at VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel at VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.